Yeah. What's going on, y'all? Frank, welcome back to the channel. So I put that part 2 out last night, right? And me and my wife, we were talking yesterday, just through text, right? And I went to T-Mobile to switch to get my own phone plan. And just doing that, it was like a confirmation and a realization that, yeah, this is sort of what's happening, right? And then I got to unlock my screen, and my screensaver's my wife and Mercy. And, looking at that shit was like almost, it was almost like surreal, because I'm like, damn, so now I got to change my screensaver, right? And then now I got to change my lock screen. And then, on iPhones, they just show you different pictures. And every single picture that's being shown is like memories over the past, however long, 10 years, right? So naturally, I messaged her and I was like, yo, are you sure this is what you want to do? Like, have you really thought this through? Even though I already know the answer, right? But I'm sort of hoping that maybe I get a different answer than what I already know, right? And then I don't, and I get the answer, and I was like, yeah, well, why'd you ask that anyway? Like, you know better than that. And then she commented on the video and was like, why are you saying this and why are you saying that when that's not happened? That's not exactly the way things happen. And then I had to remind her of perspective, right? Of a lot of times, just because we have a memory of something doesn't make that memory accurate, right? That's only our perspective. I have memories that I know aren't accurate, right? I know that. I know that's my perspective. I understand that. Unfortunately, she doesn't, right? And we were speaking about different things. And it was, just kind of like small things, to be honest with you. And I was like, please don't think that, that I'm trying to shed you in a bad light. I said, because that's not at all what I want to do. I wouldn't do that, first of all. And that's not what I want to do, right? And I said, but over the past, year and a half, 2 years, we lived in the same house, slept in the same bed, but I didn't exist, right? She would get upset and not speak to me for a week. And then I'd apologize to her for, I don't even know what, something I didn't do wrong, or whatever I thought I did wrong, because she would never say, okay, this is why I was upset, or whatever it might be. And then that happened and happened and happened again and happened again. And then on Father's Day, she left. And I remember taking the kids out and spending the Father's Day with the kids, right? And I was happy because I was spending it with my kids. But then I was also sad because I wasn't spending it with my family, right? And then I was like, that, that I think that let me know sometimes we got to ignore what somebody says and sort of watch and listen to what they do, right? Because our actions speak louder. We all have heard that. And that's what when I started to realize, I was like, damn. Even if for whatever reason, if I wanted to leave her, I would have never done it on Mother's Day. I would have never ruined that time. And, I started to see that the same consideration that I was giving was not being reciprocated. And then I would make justifications in my head, and I'd be like, all right, she's hurt, she's angry, she's upset. And then I was like, all right, well, what did I do? Right? Nothing. And I'm once again, I'm not saying I'm perfect, because that's, well, I'll be the first to say that that's not the truth, But I started to take evaluation, and I do that with everything in my life. Every now and then I take evaluation and be like, all right, what could I be doing better? What could I be doing less? All that type of stuff. And I started to constantly realize, all right, what did I do? And I was like, I don't even know what I did, right? And then 3 days later, after she left on Father's Day, we agreed to go to counseling, and she came back. And 2 days after she came back, she did the same thing. She stopped talking to me. And I don't know what I did. Still to this day, don't know what I did. And that's when I was kicking myself in the ass. I said, why did you ask her to come back, right? Because I knew that this isn't where she wanted to be. And that's fine, And I said, all right, maybe we'll go to counseling and things will change, because there's on both sides, we each have resentments about things, and, and we're not even talking about past traumas, right? I'm just talking about with us. And I started to, we go to counseling, and I started to think, and I was like, damn, every single thing that we speak about is like something that I did, my fault, right? So I said, damn, well, when are we going to get to the part, right, where I get to say, what you did that bothered or hurt or anything like that? And that part never came, right? It still hasn't came to this day. And I spoke to her about that. I said, do you know what you not speaking to me every couple weeks would do to me? Do you know, you telling me, look, I want a divorce, when we might have an argument about the dishes or, something extremely trivial. I said, do you know what that does? And I said this before, where I said, it's the only person that you want to speak to in the world. And they don't want to speak to you. But they're not telling you why, right? Because, I'm a big boy. I could tell if I do something wrong, I have to deal with the consequences, whether I agree or like them. That's irrelevant. You have to deal with the consequences in life when you do something wrong, right? So I started to ask, I was like, damn, what is it now? And I that's when I was realizing that it wasn't anything. It wasn't the what, it was the who. It wasn't whatever it was me, right? And I was like, damn, you just, it's no matter what. Like she could have asked for a glass of water, and I could have brought it exactly the way it was wanted, but it still wasn't good enough, you know. And, you know, that I think as a human, that doesn't feel good. Then as a man, you know, and all that stuff, and as a husband, and I started to realize, you know, slowly, and you know, the confirmation came recently within the past couple of days that I was like, damn, as much as I'm heartbroken, right? As much as I love her, as much as I appreciate her, it's not, that's not really what's important. What's important is me sort of, like if you look at me and with anybody else, nobody else I would ever allow to like take advantage of me or step on me or do anything like that, right? But I was allowing to the person that I love the most in the world to do that. You know, and there's times that I've done that with her, right? That times we get in an argument and maybe I curse her out or something. And I was like, damn, anybody else would ever say that to you, I'd wanna hurt them, but I'm doing it to you. I'm hurting you the most, you know. And I've seen that stuff happening over and over again. And I try to be like, yo, this is what's going on. This is how I'm feeling. And every single time it was like, no, that's not what I did. That's not what happened. That's not what this. That's not that. And I'd fucking bust my head and be like, damn, am I tripping? Is this not what happened? And then I'd go back through the text and be like, nah, that's exactly what happened. You know, and then that was confirmation to me that I might not like what's happening. I might not agree with what's happening. It might hurt. But it's for the best, right? So as I was speaking in the video, you'll see it cuts out, right? The camera overheated for some reason. So I feel like that's a sign, you know, of whatever, like God saying, yo. And then I get a message from Rachel saying, yo, I'm about to drop Major off from wrestling practice. I got to grab a couple things, so I'm going to come in, you know. And even that, like, do I want to see her? Fuck no, you know. And not because I'm angry, because I'm hurt. And it's hard enough walking around and seeing her coat, her shoes. I lay in the bed, I smell her on a pillow. And I'm like, all right, I need to wash the sheets. But then I don't want to wash them, you know. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to end this here. Thank you guys. Remember, I'm not the only one going through this. You know, from the comments and from my DMs and emails, y'all show me that I'm not the only one going through this. Listen, I guess we just gonna go through it together, right? Remember, that's so important to be kind to people because we don't never know what somebody else is going through, right? A lot of times we get caught up in our own problems that we don't realize everybody else is going through some shit, right? Everybody else is.